All right, let's jump into it. So, why are we here? What should you be doing right now? Let's just, if you guys don't know who I am, we'll get into that in a minute. Hopefully, as everybody is here to pick up on one thing and one thing specifically, and that is, we are clearly in some kind of insane times, if you will, and whether you are buying into the actual viral component of it or not is, quite frankly, completely irrelevant. I mean, the reality of it is we are where we are right now, and we are way past the time for debating. There are absolutely real things that are happening in the economy right now. Consumer confidence is effectively going through the floor as we speak, and so now is a time for real clear and real decisive action. I can tell you, for many of you, the time for wait and see game is completely irresponsible, to put it very harshly. And just with that, let me just kind of forewarn everybody here. I am not in the business of bullshitting people. I'm not in the business of sugarcoating things, and I'm not in the business of blowing sunshine up everybody's ass here. What I'm here to do is be very clear and very direct with you, give it to you raw, uncut, and tell you exactly what's going on right now from my vantage point. I've quite literally been on the phone for the last 4 days straight, pretty much nonstop, speaking to professionals from all over the world, but as well as a lot of my mastermind students, a lot of the people that I coach over the years, and effectively the same kind of advice that I'm going to break down for you is the same kind of advice I've been giving them, and the same kind of advice I'm adhering to inside of my own business. And so that's what I'm here to do. I'm not here to, again, for those of you that don't really know about, kind of how I deliver information, I'm just not, I'm a huge believer in that time is not on our side ever. I literally have it tattooed on my arm. I wear it on my wrist. That the time is now. That you have to act in the moment. You have to be very clear. You have to be very intentional with everything you do. And so sometimes when you sit around and try to paint things in a rosy and you're worried about how you deliver the message to people and all that kind of stuff, it ends up the levity of what you're trying to do, the gravity of what you're trying to do is actually lost in translation. So hopefully everybody's cool with that. Everybody understands what we're up against here, and everybody's coming in here to play full out. All right, so I'm gonna turn this off and let's just jump right into it and get going here. First things first, again, why we're here and why I hope you'll listen to me. For those of you that don't really know a whole lot about me and why I think why you should listen to me, the bottom line is, I've been in business now for 30 years, and I started a business when I was 17 years old that was wildly successful. Went up to almost $2 billion a year in annual sales. I've literally built now 11 companies to 7, 8, and 10 figures in annual sales. I'm the CEO and founder of Real Estate Worldwide, which many of you might be members of in some way, shape, or form. But we kind of specialize in delivering software systems, online trainings, live trainings, and coaching that is now exceeded 50,000 members, which is a milestone that we're very, very proud of. Many of you have heard about reverse wholesaling in the past, and many of you actually probably do it. The reality of it is reverse wholesaling is something that I created back in the day, and it has kind of revolutionized the industry. The people that understand it and know how to do it clearly understand the benefit that particular strategy has brought to their business. Many of you right now are using data products, data services, software to connect with cash buyers or private lenders or motivated sellers. Just so that you understand, back in 2008, we were the ones that actually created that entire industry. We started with a product called Find Cash Buyers Now, and then moved to Find Private Lenders Now, then Find Motivated Sellers Now, and it's now evolved into something that's called Smart. But all of these data products that you see today that many of you might actually be subscribed to, none of those existed when I got back in this industry. I started in this business as a wholesaler. I actually lost the business, and then ultimately, kind of when I was up against the ropes, ended up falling into real estate wholesaling. And when I started, there was no way to access data. There was no way of pulling lists. There certainly was no way of automating marketing whatsoever. So we had to create that stuff. And when we started creating it, we started selling it. We started telling other people about it, and then that avalanche kind of started, and that momentum started, and now those have kind of become staples of the industry to access data and use marketing systems and use the technology. But quite frankly, before we did that, none of that actually existed. My family and I also run one of the nation's premier real estate investment companies right now in the industry, a company called REI Nation, formerly known as Memphis Invest. And so that you guys understand that we have real boots on the ground, and probably what separates us from the people that talk about it versus the people that actually do it is that we currently buy and sell 900 properties every single year across 7 markets. And we manage 6,000 properties for our investors right now. You'd be hard pressed to find somebody that's buying and selling the better part of 100 properties every single month, but that's exactly what our organization is doing right now. And that kind of puts us at the tip of the spear on understanding not only customer sentiment, but certainly investor sentiment, what the industry is looking to do, what our investors are looking to do, what our residents and tenants are looking to do. So we really kind of have we gain a lot of information there that we're able to deliver to you guys very, very quickly. Probably just as important for the sake of this particular call, for those of you that are kind of new to the industry, this is my second go around with something like this, right? The Great Recession, just so that everybody's really, really crystal clear, literally ran out the vast majority of real estate investors and speculators, pushed them directly out of the industry because they were not prepared. They didn't understand the fundamentals. They didn't understand the economics. And ultimately, they didn't understand how to pivot quickly and put their businesses in a good position to where they could move forward. I am very proud to tell you that not only did we do that, but we successfully did that through the Great Recession. And in fact, every single one of our businesses grew and grew pretty dynamically during that time period, and have continued to grow. And that is quite literally how we got inside of the education and the training space. Online training is because we were so successful at it that people started wanting to know exactly how we did it. So I think you're gonna find this to be very valuable when I share with you tonight. A lot of people, I tell you, would continue, and well, you know what? I would be one of those people. I pride myself on being a pioneer and an innovator in this industry. I really like trying to be out in front and help people to get to the next level. I'm a proud husband, father to 3 amazing kids. I'm based in San Diego, and we run multiple companies virtually across the country. So this presentation is not meant to be pretty, and then the slides aren't all beautiful. Bottom line, guys, I'm here to deliver you content, and so kind of forgive a little bit if you don't mind. This was put together in the last 48 hours, and it was put together specifically for you. I would encourage you to take really, really good notes. For those of you that are just coming on, you're going to find it to be highly valuable. I would encourage you, for those of you that do have your phones stand by, that are, as I'm going through this, if you want to take pictures of the slides, feel free to do that, but I'm happy to send out a recording of this as well. And so I just want you to know that that's available to you. So here's my promise. I want you to really get into this, and I want you to really give me your undivided attention, because I promise you, if you'll do that, it will. I'm going to give you value that you can begin applying immediately into your business over the course of the next few days. So let's get into it. What we're going to cover. Here's what we're going to get into. I'm going to walk you through the steps you should be taking real time in your personal life right now. Again, we are way past wondering whether or not the virus or whatever it is, the pandemic, is going to actually come into your household. I'm not even worried. That is something that is, I guess, to be determined. What I am here to let you know is that the financial crisis and the customer sentiment and what is going on in the market is absolutely real. And so you absolutely have to get ready for it. Equally, I'm going to talk to you about the steps that you should be taking to prepare your business for the next few months, if not the next year. And then I'm going to tell you key pivots you should be making right now in your business to put yourself in the best position to weather this storm, but actually any storm, but not just weather it. I'm going to show you exactly how to thrive through this, because whether you believe it or not, and this is something I would tell you to write down almost immediately, right? And I'll make a point of telling you this as we go. When I tell you to write something down, I really want you, this is something that I believe is extremely valuable, and I want you to really try to listen to me. You can focus on the obstacles or you can focus on the opportunities in every situation. I posted this on Facebook today. I posted it on my Instagram for those of you that follow me, but it's exactly what I believe. There is not one situation, problem, challenge that comes up in your business or in life that you cannot put into that category. Are you focused on the obstacle or are you focusing on the opportunity? For the sake of this conversation, I want you to be focusing on the opportunity, because it does not matter, whatever the situation is, including this, that there is an opportunity there, and there's an opportunity to really put yourself in a position to win for a long, long time. When we get to the end of it, we're going to attempt to do live Q&A, although as I'm looking at my GoToWebinar, as you guys are commenting over there, this is giving me trouble, and I can't really open up some of your questions here, so that's going to be dicey. We'll have to play that by ear when we get to the end. All right, so let's jump right into it. What are the steps that you should be taking right now inside of your personal life? And what I mean by that is more as it relates to your household income more than anything else. The very first thing you need to be looking at immediately is getting your finances in order. And you know, I've spent a lot of time, like I said, in the last few days with people that, quite frankly, they don't have this box checked in any way, shape, or form. They have not looked at in any way what would happen if the revenue coming into their household, the income coming into their household was cut by 50%, was cut by 25%. And I'm not trying to be alarmist, I'm just trying to be practical with you. That could be a very real possibility here. And if it was, what would you do? You need to understand clearly what your access to capital is, whether that is on credit cards, banks, lines of credit, accessing the equity inside of your home, accessing equity inside of investment properties that you have. What access to capital do you have? What are the reserves? What is the liquidity that you have sitting right now? And can you weather this storm? Because the storm is here. If you have not done this already, you need to be doing it right now. And I mean, literally, when we get off of this call tonight, you need to be going headfirst into this. You need to understand exactly where those cash reserves are, how liquid they are. If they are not liquid, how you could liquidate them quickly. You need to understand every reliable cash source that you have that is not likely to be impacted by a downturn. Understand your income blind spots that could easily disappear or get restricted in coming weeks and months. And I'll give you a great example of this. You know, many of you are sitting there right now and you're like, well, I think I'm doing good, Kent, because I have $10,000 a month in passive cash flow coming from rental properties. Well, I would immediately argue to you that what happens if that gets cut in half? Because that's a very real possibility. Let's just do the math here for a second. Let's understand exactly what has happened. Entire industry sectors are being shut down in real time. Yesterday, 2 or 3 airlines cut down 75% of their flights. Another cut down 90% of their domestic and international flights. And I think it's only beginning. Las Vegas, all of the MGM resorts, I think it's 5 or 6 different resorts, including the MGM, New York, the Bellagio, and others, all shut down, literally laying off tens of thousands of people overnight. You have the NBA that is now completely shut down, the NHL that has shut down. So all the ancillary jobs, service jobs that service those industries, right? The NCAA tournament. You have the hotel industries, the travel industry at large is being massively, massively impacted right now. And then the travel industry immediately impacts hotels, and impacts rental car companies. I mean, just think of all the dominoes that ultimately start falling. I'm in the state of California right now. They just shut down restaurants and bars inside of the state for the next 2 to 6 weeks. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are about to either lose their jobs and or have already lost their job. The average, and I want you to write this down, the average American household cannot withstand 1 month without income. The average American small business cannot go 2 months without income. So think about all this. I live here in a little village in San Diego. It's called Bird Rock, and up and down this street are just store after store after store. And so when that happens, all these businesses are about to go out of business. And not, I shouldn't say all, a lot of them are going to go out of business. They cannot go for weeks or months without income at all. When that happens, the ripple effect is immediately that if you own cash flow properties, you own rental properties, guess where they're going to start turning? Yes, they will cut back on expenses. Yes, they will try to survive, but they will also be picking up the phone and calling you immediately to try to get, relief. And so, are you in a position to do that? And if you do have to give relief, are you in a position to take that kind of hit? The other thing I would be doing immediately is shoring up your retirement accounts, pushing into cash flowing assets. And again, assets like real estate that you can buy at a at a discount, that is currently cash flowing, that does have some of these issues kind of baked into those acquisitions, where you could foreseeably go the first 60 days without rent, or even the first 90 days without rent, but know that over the next 5 to 10 years, this is going to be a good performing asset from you. And because it's sitting in a retirement account, you don't have to live off the cash flow anyway. I would be getting into hard assets as quickly as I possibly could. And again, this is exactly what I'm doing inside of my own life. Next thing I would be doing is, for many of you, I'm going to argue the vast majority of you, we roughly have almost 500 people on here, preparing a personal financial statement is like Greek to you. But I think it would be in your best interest to go, whether it is in Excel or go use some of the online software programs, and immediately start preparing a personal financial statement. Understand exactly where you are in your personal life. Checking, savings, retirement accounts, any kind of investments that you've made, any kind of cash flow you got coming in. You need to be able to look at this in a snapshot and understand from a dashboard type perspective of exactly where you are in your life right now. Keep going here. Do not panic. One of the things I like to say a lot of times to my coaching clients is, you need to separate fact from fiction very, very quickly here. There's a lot of media, clearly. There's a lot of outlets for, whether it's your kids, your neighbors, your friends, or your family. There's a lot of places for them to get information. And sometimes that information is largely hearsay. And you need to be in control right now. This is a time for leadership. It is not a time for panic. And the way that you actually are able to have and exude leadership is getting the facts, which is basically the first 5 bullets I talked about. Understand exactly where you stand, understanding exactly what could come down the line, and understand clearly in developing a plan of what you're going to do about it. What are you prepared to do, which I'll talk about that here in just a second. Be a leader. Demonstrate exactly what it looks like to steer a ship in rough seas. Be the hero of your own life. Nobody is coming to save you. Period. Nobody is coming to save you. If you're on this call right now and you are excited because you think that Trump or the government is about to send you $1,000, then I can tell you, you already have the wrong mentality with this. That is a lottery winner mentality, and you should expect to change that very, very quickly. You need to step into this. You need to lean into this. You need not to panic. You need to get the facts, and you need to act accordingly. Take responsibility for what is going on right now. The last thing I'll share with you in your personal life is you need to keep buying and selling. Here's the thing. The basic economy, at fundamentals of any economy, that people have to transact for any economy even to exist. We do this every single day. We exchange money for value over and over and over. If you completely contract and try to save your way into protecting yourself, I can tell you, you have now officially become part of the problem, and you're not part of the solution. You need to absolutely keep transacting. You keep transacting with small businesses, keep transacting with your marketing, keep transacting with your online education, keep transacting with the grocery store, the dry cleaners, and as soon as the restaurants and those places start opening, you need to keep doing it. The gym that you are now looking for a reason, well, this is great, now I don't even have to go to the gym. Well, you need to go and engage your personal trainer right now and try to cut a deal and prepay for sessions and see if you can work one-on-one with them, or you need to go sign up for online training. The idea here is you keep transacting. If you do not transacting, if we all chose not to transact, then you effectively shut down an economy. And clearly we can see what that looks like in real time here, right? So absolutely keep moving and keep moving forward. Is it okay to step back a little bit, collect your thoughts, which is basically what I've just told you in this first section? Collect your thoughts, get the facts, understand exactly what you should and shouldn't do. Of course, but then you need to act accordingly. You need to transact. You don't need to be. I can tell you, and I'm going to come to this in the business side, that contraction right here is going to be your worst nightmare. Which kind of leads me to the next thing. Let's talk about this: the steps in business. What you're going to find is the steps in business are going to be very, very similar here. Many of you are running a small real estate investment business right now, and some of you are running large ones, and some of you are just getting started. You have a business, and you need to start getting and understanding exactly what is going on in the business. Understand the cash reserves, just like I talked about before. Understand your reliable credit sources, your cash sources. Understand all the income blind spots for those of you running investment properties, and like we are, turnkey investments. We have 6,000 properties we manage for our investors right now. We are absolutely talking about in our business today, in the last 24 hours, what are we going to do if 3,000 of our tenants cannot pay and our revenue is cut by 50%? What are we going to do? That is the same conversation you need to be having right now, whether you're a one-man operation or you're a 100-person operation or somewhere between. You need to understand clearly what the actions are that you are going to take if your business is impacted by up to 25%, 50%, or even 75% is what we have modeled out in our businesses right now. Loss in revenue short term. Prepare your plan now for tiered cuts, and God forbid, but if you have to make layoffs and you have to do those types of things, you definitely want to make sure you've thought about it. You do not want to be knee-jerk. Like I can tell you today that exactly what myself and our operations team is going to do and is prepared to do if indeed our businesses start to slow down and suffer. This is pure survival. It is irresponsible not to have this plan. It is irresponsible not to have thought through this. It is irresponsible to actually be knee-jerk and jerk people around that work for you and not have a good plan in place for them. That is, you need to get in front of this as fast as you possibly can. Other ways to get in front of this is thinking about, again, when you're thinking strategically, how, what are the things you need to be thinking about? One of the things you need to be thinking about is, how can I possibly collect as much cash so I'm sitting on reserves as fast as possible? So some ideas that I'll give you is that, is there a way to go, we're testing this right now, going out to people and offering them, right, to pay, instead of paying monthly, let's just use it as an example, $1,000 a month for the next 12 months, we will give you 2 months free. Basically, go give us 12 months of rent for the price of 10. Instead of having to pay us $12,000 if you pay it all in full, right now we'll allow you to pay $10,000 or $9,000, whatever it is. Get the cash in your account right now. Understand, whether, and by the way, you should be doing the exact same thing on the other side of your business. If you have cash reserves, you should be making the exact same offer to all of your vendors out there. If I prepay you, can I get discounts? Can I prepay you, whether it is for marketing or whether it is for services in kind, whatever it is, what can I prepay right now? Phone, rent, whatever, what can I prepay right now in order to take advantage and get the discounts and be effectively offering the exact same kind of discounts to your renters, to people that owe you money, whether that is in your membership. Some of you are coaches on here that are watching this. You have a coaching program, or you have some kind of piece of software. I mean, I know I have a lot of guys that are in the software business that follow me, and you're on here right now. How do you get people to prepay you in advance for a discount? Get in front of it so that you can get the cash in-house now and offer some relief to them as well and give them some peace of mind. Those of you that are running businesses, I would be definitely visiting immediately your refund policy, and I would be tightening up and training any of your customer service representatives on exactly how to handle refund requests so that you don't get overrun with this. It would not be uncommon with the kind of panic that's going through the market right now, and these are the conversations that we're having internally, for you to just get buried in the next week to 10 days with refund requests. Some of you are managing Airbnbs, short-term rentals, and you have people that you've taken deposits from and they now want their money back. You need to get in and absolutely go revisit your refund your policy right now and absolutely train your staff on how you're going to handle that. If there are changes that you need to make, you need to make them accordingly. Again, I would be, whether it's you're offering services in kind, you're offering discounts, whatever it is, the idea here is to keep the money in-house and not let it get out the door, right? Where at all possible, without being a douchebag about it. I would be tightening up your customer service for rent abatement requests. Get your policy in writing, get it updated, get it on your website, make sure that terms and conditions that they have signed, and go revisit those contracts. A lot of you've been renting properties for years. It's been a while since you've actually visited your contract, your rental agreement, and understand exactly what you can and can't do right now. But I would definitely get it in front of you, read through it, surround yourself with people that understand it and can help guide you through it. But the idea here is, you can see the line of thinking that I'm giving you here is separate fact from fiction. Understand exactly the moves you need to make on the chessboard right now. Make them intelligently and make them intentionally. I'll say it again. Make them intelligently and make them intentionally. Do not be knee-jerk. Do not be reactive, and do not act out of panic or desperation. You need to clearly get the answers that allow you to be the hero of your life right now and of your business. Next thing I'll tell you in your business, you need to determine your absolute bottom line dollars needed for the business to function. Whether that is in marketing, sales, income, you need to clearly understand exactly how much revenue needs to come through the door, exactly what positions are inside of your organization that are must-haves, cannot do without, they're operational, the business cannot function without it, and what if, God forbid, you had to cut, where those cuts would come and what is the bottom line, right? You need to, again, separate fact from fiction and get right to the bottom line here. Let's keep going. Which kind of goes hand in hand with this comment as well. You need to right side your business as needed. Do not hesitate. One of the mistakes that I know, unfortunately, a lot of businesses are going to make right now is they're going to try to ride the wave down. And they're not doing it intentionally. They're just doing it because they're passive and they are afraid of making hard decisions. They're afraid of looking at it in a logical way. But let me break it down for you. If you have to cut somebody, you have to let them go and you have to release them, wouldn't you rather want to furlough an employee, lay off an employee, potentially bring them back because you made all the right moves right now that allow you not only to survive the next 90 days, but for the next 9 years? Or would you rather be somebody that is completely indecisive, doesn't know what to do, and is guessing all the way down? And ultimately, not only do you have to fire that employee anyway, but the entire business goes under and nobody has the opportunity to come back to work for you, when it happens. You need to really, really think about that, because for many of you, making those hard decisions right now is something that you're going to struggle with. And I want to encourage you, do not hesitate. Get the plan in place and know that if these milestones, if revenue reduces over a 2-week period by 25%, these are the decisions I'm making. If revenue reduces over the next over 50%, these are the decisions I'm making. And have that plan and have already understand exactly what you're going to do. It will save you so much brain damage. It will save you so much heartache. It will save you so much anxiety because if you just execute on and put together your plan. Another thing that I know, again, along those same lines that I know a lot of you are going to struggle with, but I want to just be very, very candid here with you. You need to communicate. And you owe it to your employees, you owe it to your family, you owe it to your community and the people that depend on you and your vendors to communicate honestly and openly. You need to absolutely, people are looking for real leadership right now. And when we think about great leaders, they are always great communicators. They are not afraid of standing in front of a group and telling people exactly like it is. People appreciate honesty. People appreciate candor. People appreciate transparency. What they don't appreciate is people blowing sunshine up their ass and telling them everything's going to be okay when it's clearly not. And so, bottom line, these people have bills to pay, and just like you and me. And so you need to let them know the actions that you're currently taking to protect the business, to protect revenue, but that you as a leader are prepared to do what is necessary for that business to survive. And that ultimately that could in fact turn into that you may have to temporarily lay off people, that you're going to work very hard to keep that from happening, that you're taking every possible action that you can to protect that, but that the easiest way to protect all that is to continue to sell, to continue to create revenue, to continue to create income, to take on new responsibilities inside of the business, that everybody band together, but that clearly that you have a plan and that you're willing to do what it takes to make things happen. Your people will appreciate it. It may feel uncomfortable to you, but it will be the decisive leadership they're looking for. In the absence of information, that black hole becomes people's worst nightmare. And you owe it to them to be very, very candid and give them the truth. Other things I would be doing right now is I would be immediately reaching out to lenders and your vendors to understand exactly what they're prepared to do and how flexible they are prepared to be in working with you. Here's what I will tell you, and I want you to write this down. This is very, very important, right? I want you to write it down. I want you to circle it. I want you to highlight it. I want you to put a big asterisk next to it. If you have a red pen or a red marker, write it with that. But here it is. You can count on your competition's mediocrity. The vast majority of investors or wannabe real estate investors or business owners are not on this phone call right now. They are not a part of a mastermind. They're not a part of a mentorship program. They're not working directly with the nation's biggest wholesaler. They're not connected to one of the most successful real estate investment companies out there. They're not where you are right now. They're not getting this information. So the vast majority of them are going to do nothing. They are absolutely going to wait and see. They're absolutely going to play the game of, let me just cross my fingers and hope this all works out. And that mediocrity, your lenders and your vendors are dealing with those people too. And because they're dealing with those people too, the easiest way for you to stand out and the easiest way for you to be a valuable partner with your lenders and with your vendors is be decisive. Initiate the contact, initiate the outreach, tell them exactly what's going on in your business and what you're planning to do, and ask them, what are you planning to do? If we need help, what can you do for us? How can we help with each other? How can we make sure that this project gets completed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You need to understand the entire landscape, not just the pieces that fit into your narrative. You absolutely need to be ahead of this. And you need to understand that, again, no different than in every other sector out there, there are going to be the leaders and there are going to be the players and there are going to be the people that take this seriously, and they will be the winners. And then there are going to be the people that are passive, they're ignorant, and they're playing the wait and see game, and they will be gone. You get to choose. And by the way, the choice is pretty much on you right now. You get to choose, and you get to choose in real time because this is happening in real time. And you need to choose wisely. Be the company that they want to do business with. Be the company that they want to lock arms with and say, holy shit, they got it together. They may not have it all figured out, but at least they're communicating. Next key thing I'll share with you here is you need to focus a great deal of your actions, I talked about this earlier on right sizing your business. You need to focus your actions on generating sales right now. And then this next point is going to come. I shared this with my mastermind yesterday. This is going to be very contrary to what many of you believe, but do not doubt me for a second. I promise you, I've been here and I know exactly the way this plays out. And I can tell you without any shadow of a doubt, this bullet right here will be the one piece of information that is one of the most valuable pieces of information I can share with you. You need to focus your actions on not only generating sales right now, but you need to double down on your marketing. And you heard me correctly. This is not a time for contraction. Here's what's going to happen. There is a bottom tier of real estate, quote unquote, investor. I wouldn't even necessarily call them investors. And that bottom tier of investor is the mom and pop shop that has just recently got into the business in the last 1 or 2 years. They've never seen anything like this. They're still struggling to get a few deals put together. And they don't have access to good mentorship. They don't have access to masterminds. They don't have access to coaching. They don't have access to anybody to guide them in any way. And so they're sitting on an island right now playing the game of what the hell should I do? And the one thing that they will do naturally, because they largely don't have any experience here, is they will most certainly cut off their marketing. And the logic will go something like this: is let's just wait and see. Let's pull back the money. Let's sit on the $5,000 a month. Let's sit on the $10,000 a month and not do anything here and just kind of see how this plays out. The moment they do that, that 20, 30, even 40% of the market that they represent, all that money, all those marketing dollars are going to get yanked out of the market virtually overnight. Some of you are dealing in highly competitive markets right now: Dallas, Phoenix, Vegas, whatever. Imagine 40% of your competition pulling all their money out of ad spend, PPC, texting, cold calling, direct mail, ringless voicemail, just immediately, happening right now, literally right now, getting yanked out of the market. When they yank it out of the market, what does that do for you virtually overnight? Your deal cost is going to get driven down. Your cost per lead is going to get driven down. All your search words, your key terms on PPC are all going to get driven down because there's no longer demand. Just the same way it was going the other direction. And many of you have voiced concerns to me. You're like pissed off and frustrated. And I got all these jerk offs in my market that are driving my deal cost up. They're driving my marketing up because it's so competitive. Well, the inverse is getting ready to be true right now. They are getting ready to get yanked out of the market. So if you are not in the marketing and marketing heavily right now, at a minimum, continuing to keep your foot on the gas, but at ideally pushing harder, then you are now part, again, the same problem earlier. You are part of the problem. You have now officially put yourself over in the corner with your mediocre competition versus being the leader that's out in front, taking advantage of the opportunity to get in front of distressed sellers who need you now more than ever, and you will have less competition than you've ever had. I cannot encourage you enough to absolutely stay right on point here. Now, how do you do that? You have to know your numbers. You have to understand exactly what the KPIs are, key performance indicators. You have to know exactly what your deal cost is, exactly what your cost per lead is. If you don't know those numbers, then that's going to be part of the problem, and part of the reason why you pull out is because you don't have enough information to understand exactly what to do. So as a part of separating fact from fiction, you need to know your numbers. And your numbers need to be, I want you to write this down, it's not on the slide. Your numbers need to be, if your deal cost needs to be $3,500 to $5,000, your average lead cost needs to be roughly $150 to $200. If your numbers are right there, and then your revenue per deal is basically 2 to 3 times, say it again, 2 to 3 times what your deal cost is, then you are going to be fine. I was speaking to a student over the weekend, and yeah, his average deal cost was $5,000, but his average revenue per deal was $19,000. And he was bitching because it was going down to $15,000. I had to remind him, you're still getting a 3-to-1 return on your money in less than 45 days. You're putting 5 grand in marketing and you're getting 15,000 back in less than 45 days. So you've got a healthy business. Why would you pull back right now? This is where you have to push in. And after that conversation, clearly he understood what he needed to do. And I would encourage you, that's exactly what you need to do. So again, I'll say it again. Your average lead cost, I'll say it slow, or let's do your average cost per lead, CPL, cost per lead. Average cost per lead should be $150 to $250. If you're less than that, then you're doing great. And then, by the way, this is on the blend. I clearly understand a lot of you doing multiple ways of marketing. I'm just talking to you overall. Your average cost per deal, CPD, should be $3,500 to $5,000. Now, if you do simple math right there, if your cost per lead is $150 and your cost per deal, let's say hypothetically comes in at $3,000, well, then hopefully everybody can understand the math. What that means is it's taking you 20 leads to do a deal. 20 leads times $150 is $3,000 in your cost per deal. If your cost per lead is $250 and it's taking you 20 leads, then your cost per deal is $5,000. So it should take you basically 20 leads to 25 to do a deal. And those two numbers I just gave you, your cost per lead and your cost per deal, should all kind of, the math should play out there. Your revenue per deal should be, on average, hopefully 3 times whatever your cost per deal number is. So if your cost per deal is $5,000, then your revenue per deal should be $15,000. Hopefully everybody understands that. That is the way you manage the business. So how to go back to the last bullet point that's on the screen here. In order for you to double down on marketing, in order for you to feel confident moving forward, you have to know those 3 numbers, ladies and gentlemen. Cost per lead, cost per deal, revenue per deal. If you fall inside of that realm that I just told you, you have no business backing off your marketing at all. You need to push forward and you need to push hard. Because again, you're going to experience a 20 to 40% attrition in the market virtually overnight. And if you're not playing full out, you will miss that opportunity massively. All right, let's keep going here. Again, I can't stress it enough. I just really hit it hard here, but I'll say it again. You need to double down on the marketing. What does that look like? Well, I would be marketing heavily right now for cash buyers. So what's the dynamic that is getting ready to take place is taking place, it's taking place right now, is you are going to go, or the cash buyers are going to flood into the market. Cash buyers already make up a very large percentage of the market right now, but they're only going to get more aggressive and they're going to come in. They're all looking for deals. Now, cash buyers come in every shape and size and flavor. You're going to have people that are going to start calling you right now if they haven't already. For those of you that are experienced real estate investors, some of you already started getting these phone calls with people saying, how do I get my hands on a deal? I had a guy yesterday call me and tell me he had $10 million. He thinks he wants to place it with me to go get into, go buy up distressed properties right now. He's not a professional real estate investor. He just has money and he sees an opportunity. That's one type of investor. You're going to have the other end of the spectrum that are your institutional investors, the hedge funds that are going to be much more measured with it. They're still going to buy and they're going to buy like crazy, but they're literally going to have it modeled out and they're going to know exactly what they want, how they want it, and when they want it, and when they think the turn is going to, when the dip will hit the bottom. You need to start marketing right now so that you have access to all of them. How do you do that? You go into the SMART system. And for those of you who don't have SMART, I'll tell you how to get access to it here. We'll get to that in a minute here, but basically you want to go in and I want you to write this down. This campaign that works like dynamite and has worked consistently for years, not only for us, but for thousands of our students, is you go in and you run an active cash buyer campaign for your city, and you go mail version 1 of the letter inside of SMART, version 1. That letter, and you go into SMART and you order a 6-touch direct mail campaign, and they will start calling you like crazy. You follow the instructions inside of the training step by step, and you will get exactly what you're looking for there. The cash buyers are going to want to use you to find properties as fast as humanly possible. And they are going to want you to do it over and over and over again. On the other side of marketing, on the other side of the coin, you want to be marketing for distressed properties right now. And distressed properties that you want to start is the distressed properties you want to start marketing for are out-of-state owners that have a vacancy. So I'll say it again, out-of-state owners that have a vacancy. Because here's what's going on. They are doing the exact same thing that you and I are doing right now. Out-of-state owners that have a vacancy are sitting here thinking to themselves, holy shit, what am I going to do? I'm sitting in California, I own a property in Florida, what are the next steps? And you want to be there to save the day. They are highly, highly motivated because they have a property sitting in another state in an uncertain time, and it is vacant. It is not cash flowing. That is the list to focus on for distress right now. Last thing I'll share with you in business is, and this is important, it kind of goes with the whole cash buyer concept I was explaining to you, but you need to align yourself with money partners right now. Liquidity and capital are going to prove to be very, very important for you at this particular point. This is going to pass, right? We will live to fight another day. Having access to capital and deal flow are the two things that are going to prove very, very valuable to you. Capital can be in the form of having cash buyers. Capital can be in the form of private lenders. Capital can be in the form of hard money lenders. But having capital around you that wants to get deployed and wants to get into the market or wants to fund your deals is going to be extremely valuable. Build and nurture those relationships right now. If you don't have those relationships, you can absolutely market to private lenders using SMART. You can easily go right in there and access all the private lenders that are in your area right now, send them letters and start, they will pick up the phone and call you. And when they call you, go sit down, have coffee, have lunch, and start talking to them about what you're going to do next. That is the ideal. That is the idea. Ideal. That is the idea. Geez, of playing out ahead of it, right? Sorry, man. Let me drink the water here. Okay. By the way, over in the comments, you guys finding this stuff valuable? Let me see you over there in the questions. I want to make sure that everybody is still with me. We've got a ton of people on here. If this stuff is valuable, then please just go in there and just give me a hell yeah in the comments so I can make. All right, good. All right, so good. Hopefully this stuff is highly actionable and you guys are kind of understanding where I'm coming from and starting to understand what you should be doing. Okay, cool, great, thank you. All right, so here's a key pivot. Another thing that I promised you when we started here, a key pivot that I think you guys need to be doing is I want you to think about this from an economic standpoint for a minute and understand that key cities that are getting hit hard first right now are about to be in play. I don't want to be, this is kind of a tightrope for me here, but we're on a private call and I'm just going to tell you kind of the way I feel here. I'm here to help you guys. You guys are my customers. You are my audience. You are the people. And I want you to do what you need to do for yourselves, for your families, for your employees, for your community. And I would be completely remiss if I didn't talk to you about potentially what opportunities look like down the line, right? It seems kind of opportunistic, and in fact it is, but again, it's my responsibility to make sure that I'm communicating that to you. So key cities that are being impacted right now and being impacted in a severe way are cities that rely heavily on tourism. I would go do a Google search right now. I did not do that before I put this together, but I would go do a Google search on cities that have that their basic financial or economic drive generator in their community is tourism. Orlando would be one of them. Las Vegas would be one of them. Miami would be, and there, a lot of cities would fall into this category. They are clearly being impacted heavily right now. Why are they being impacted? Well, obviously the airlines are suffering dramatically, and it's only going to get exponentially worse here, which then immediately goes into resorts being shut down, attractions being shut down, car rental, all those services, hotel rooms. I mean, it is pervasive in these cities, right? And so as that happens, the ripple effect of that is going to be felt over the course. It will start over the course of the next 4 to 6 weeks. And again, for all the reasons I laid out for you guys earlier, that many people cannot go for a month, much less 2 or 3 months without income. They are looking for ways immediately, one, to try to shore up their own finances, but equally they may be in a position where they need to start selling property. And that's exactly what happened in 2008. I mean, they're going to start looking to liquidate quickly. And once that first domino starts falling, it kind of creates this cascade effect that you want to be in a position where you can potentially help those people. So how do you do that? You need to set up your business right now. Set up your business right now to begin virtually wholesaling to get in front of this. Again, I'll say it again. Set up your business. I'm not telling you to start a new business, and I'm not telling you to do anything. If you have an existing business right now that is performing well, you keep it going and you follow every step that I gave you earlier. In addition to that, this is not an and, it is not, it is an and, it is not an or. Okay, you're going to do exactly what you're doing, and you're going to do this. You are going to set up where you can virtually wholesale in these other markets. Hopefully everybody that's on this call understands what wholesaling is. If you don't, here's a crash course in 30 seconds. Wholesaling is where you are able to go in and put a property under contract at a substantial discount. And then you turn and flip that contract. The contract is the asset. It is a lottery ticket. You have effectively purchased the lottery ticket, and you are now willing to sell that lottery ticket to somebody else. This contract, you're willing to sell it to somebody else for a fee. So you're not actually selling a house, you're selling a contract. You're willing to sell it or assign it to another buyer for a fee. The other buyers are all the institutions that are coming in, all the cash buyers that have all this liquid capital that they must deploy. Keep in mind, when institutions, just because the economy is moving the way it's moving, it doesn't matter whether it's Open Door, Colony Homes, it doesn't matter who the hedge fund is, it doesn't matter who the cash buyer is. They have taken capital in, and that capital has come into them in the form of tens of millions, if not billions of dollars, and they are having to pay for that capital regardless of whether it is being deployed or not. Think about that. You've got $1 billion in an account, and whether you use it or not, you must pay the interest on the account. So you're not earning any income, but you have to pay for the cost of the money. So they have enormous pressure to deploy that funding as quick as humanly possible. It is going to find its way into these cities first. And you want to set up to get in front of that way. You want to get your hands on these distressed assets. You want to be able to contract these properties over the phone, and you want to be able to foot these assets very, very quickly. The assets being the contracts very, very quickly. These institutional buyers, as I said, are going to focus on these key areas that they believe that they can purchase distressed assets at big discounts. This is what they did. By the time they caught on was about 2010. It took them a couple of years, right? There was some head start on this last time, meaning institutional investors, hedge funds, et cetera, were not in the real estate game at all when the Great Recession hit last time. It didn't happen. They weren't there. It took them a couple of years for them to figure out that there was an asset class here that they could invest in. And so they got into it. And then once they got into it, they bumped around for a couple of years to kind of figure it out. And they still bought hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of homes. And so they are prepared now. It is a different day. This is a line of business for them. They know what they're doing, and they have more money than you could possibly imagine to deploy, and they have been waiting for this day to come. They have been sitting on massive amounts of cash or the cash equivalents on their balance sheet, and they now want to deploy it. And they want to deploy it in a really, really aggressive way. This is a huge opportunity for you if you're there. So again, you want to be very, very diligent about understanding how to virtually wholesale. So if you're sitting in Akron, Ohio, you're sitting in Chicago, you're sitting in Dallas, Texas, you're sitting in Vancouver, Washington, you're sitting in some other city, you want to know exactly how to not only do this in your own market, but how to do this in other markets where opportunities exist. Even if you don't focus, think about this for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Even if you don't focus on any additional markets, if all you do is you're sitting in Orlando, Florida, or you're sitting in Dallas, Texas, but you know how to purchase properties over the phone without ever having to step foot into the house, it is a massive benefit and a skill that you need to have right now. Think about it for a moment. How many people are a little panicked about, one, people coming into the stranger coming into their home, or two, you might even be panicked about that. I don't want to really go to the stranger's home right now. I don't know what the hell is going on. I mean, what's going on in the news? Is there risk there? Is there not risk there? Well, there is no risk if you're able to buy that and sell the house right from your desktop, sitting right there at your kitchen table or at your office desk right now. There is no risk then. This is a skill that you need to pivot to quickly. And the worst thing that can happen is you now know how to buy properties in at least two different ways. I can go out there and look at them and put them under contract, or I can buy them directly over the phone. The virtual wholesaling benefits here are it is a must inside of your business. The comprehension and implementation of skill to put properties under contract over the phone is naturally going to lead you to more opportunities in any market, even if it's in your own backyard. I was talking to one of my coaching clients earlier in the week about this, and we were talking about, if your entire business is contingent upon you sitting belly to belly with every seller trying to put it under contract, I can assure you there are limitations to how much your business can grow. Now, if that limitation is now pulled, and now you have the skill set to put these properties under contract regardless, and you know how to do it directly over the phone without ever having to go on site, that is a huge win for you. That you can effectively get to more deals faster through that one skill. And for many of you that are looking for more deals, this is the answer. You have to make more offers. The reason you don't make offers over the phone, and the reason why you don't, is because you don't know how to do it. And so you've got to understand how to do that. If you're, again, I talked about this earlier, but if you're worried about coming into contact with people at this particular point, and however long this this pandemic goes on, then this is the solution. You can work from home. You just need a phone. You just need a laptop. That's it. You can do this from anywhere in the world. If you're on lockdown, like a lot of us are right now, quarantine, this is the solution. You could still be buying and selling right now if you had the skill set, still producing income for your business right now in any city in America, sitting at your home right now. Kids might be nagging you, kids might be in the other room, but you could still be making money if you understood how to do this. Like many of our students that are out there that are really good at virtual wholesaling. It is clearly the least risky way of doing business. And this is wholesaling in general. This is not just with virtual wholesaling. I was on the phone yesterday with all of my mastermind students in the boardroom, and I can tell you, this would kind of go with what you should be doing if you're in business. If you're into long-term projects, rehabs right now, or you are developing or you're building and you don't have a clear line of sight on when those projects are going to be completed, and certainly if they're not going to be completed in the next 120, 150, 180 days, you need to absolutely go through the mental exercise of understanding what it would look like to try to liquidate those assets at a discount today versus having to do that 6 months from now. And I'm not telling you to do it, but you certainly owe it to yourself to understand what that landscape looks like. I'm telling you, a short-term hit right now versus riding it on the way down is going to, in the end, be a much better financial decision. Would you rather lose 10, 15, 20 grand now, or would you rather lose 100 in 6 months? I know that's what a lot of you that are in rehabs, it's not what you want to hear, but none of us have a crystal ball. And I can tell you, as long as consumer confidence is falling, then that ultimately that it will come into the real estate market and it will fall too. And unfortunately, in the real estate market, as soon as the neighbor's house or the house down the street sells at a discount, now every house starts selling at a discount, and that waterfall effect starts happening. The house next door to you just sold for $10,000 less than it was going to sell last week. Well, now your house is worth $10,000 less more. Well, you want to be more aggressive on the house, on your pricing, so you discount 10,000 more, and it just starts falling. The same way it goes up is the same way it comes down. Every appraiser is looking in hindsight. Every lender is looking in hindsight. Every buyer is looking in hindsight. What did the last few houses sell? I want something cheaper, right? It doesn't change here. And so rehabs, long-term holds that are not cash flowing are very, very dangerous right now. I've been screaming this at the top of my lungs for 2 years, and why people need to be wholesaling versus holding on to stuff. We've been in a market for an appreciating market for the last 11 years. It was bound to correct, and we're about to see it. We're about to see it in full effect. Wholesaling, specifically virtual wholesaling as well, is where you need to be moving your business to quickly. Virtual wholesaling allows you to pick your own market where you see the best opportunities arising and to pivot quickly. If you understand how to go into a market, understand the fundamentals of a market, understand the economic drivers of the market, and you can simply send marketing in there to cash buyers and motivated sellers and put deals together over the phone, you're winning without ever having to go and put boots on the ground. Now, are there some key elements to doing that? Of course there are, but that's the idea here. It's allowing you to put yourself in a position where you can win over and over and over and over again. The beauty of virtual wholesaling is we now live in a time versus 2008 where all the tools, automation, and resources are already in place. There's nothing really to think about here, right? There are wildly successful investors all over the country that are doing this every single day. Some of my really successful coaching students right now are sitting in Vancouver, Canada, and they wholesale in Austin, Texas, and Atlanta, Georgia, and rarely, if ever, even set foot in those cities. I think between the two cities, they probably set foot in them a total of probably less than a half a dozen times ever over a 3-year period. This can be done, and it can be done whether you're brand new or whether you're a seasoned pro. I can tell you when it comes to actually getting resources on the ground, one of the benefits right now, because ultimately when you put a property under contract, you're going to want to send somebody out there to take pictures and do all that kind of stuff. There's going to be a ton of people, a lot of people that are getting laid off right now, or their restaurants closed, bars closed, hotels closed, whatever, right? Service-based type people that they're going to be looking for side hustles in each market. And so understanding how to attract those people and utilize those people and give them a lifeline is going to be crucial. You have people beating down your door to go to work for you very, very quickly. Expanding, I talked about this earlier, expanding while most are contracting is a key ingredient. I want you to write that down. Take a picture of that on the screen, whatever. Expanding while most are contracting is a key ingredient to growing and scaling your business in opportunistic times. You need to be contrarian here. You need to absolutely, if your instincts are to contract, you need to fight that instinct with everything you've got. You need to be expanding, right? Once you understand the facts of your financial situation, you need to see exactly what you're comfortable with and push all in. Once you understand the numbers, you need to push all in to grow your business right now, because it will grow at a faster pace than at any other time than most of you have ever experienced inside of the real estate game. If you're new to the real estate investing game inside of the last 10 years, this will be your fastest way of expanding you've ever experienced, because your competition is getting ready to get flushed out dramatically. Cash buyers are getting ready to flood in, and you can put yourself in the perfect position to catch that wave over and over and over again. All right, so let's talk about exactly how to do that. Hopefully, let's just do this one more time. Everybody, let me check in with all you guys. I'm going to answer all you guys' questions here at the end, so I'm not doing that right now. But are you guys sticking with me? Is this still valuable? Go in the comments, let me know that you are. We are all over it. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys for a minute about something I'm personally doing, and as it relates to this pivot and how I think I can best help you guys. So starting next Tuesday on the 24th, I'm going to do a closed program with 100 people from around the country, and I'm going to take you through setting this up. Now, normally when I would open up any type of program like this, it would be a 6-week minimum type program. A lot of times it's 6 months, but I think we've got to move faster than that. I think we've got to move very expeditiously. I don't think we have 6 weeks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 6 weeks worth of content, 6 weeks worth of training, and we're going to compress it down into 3 weeks. We are going to meet this with all of these members. We will meet twice a week for the next 3 weeks. You're going to meet with me personally, or virtually, I should say. in a private closed Zoom meeting area, and we are going to jump in and grab on to this virtual opportunity and lay it out A to Z exactly what everybody needs to do. If you have an existing business, this is going to be very easy element for you to add right onto it very quickly. If you do not have an existing business, this is a great opportunity for you to start from the ground up and get going. We're leaving nobody behind, and we're going to absolutely take you through exactly what you need to do and to make sure that you understand it, literally step by step. It's going to be an environment where this is not an online course. This is literally getting on a video link with me and the rest of our group each week, twice a week. So most of you, you're stuck at home right now. So this is the perfect time to go and educate yourself and get going. This is a perfect time for you to acquire the skills that you need to get going. This is unlike anything I've ever done before. Normally, I work with people privately, one-on-one. I've never done anything where I work with a group of investors like this. So I'm excited to do it, but I think it's extremely timely, and I think it has to get done. And I think somebody has to go out there and tell the truth and give it raw and uncut, and basically not, candy coated. I want people to take actionable steps, and I want them to take steps right now. Some of the stuff we're going to cover, right? We're going to, like I said, we're going to do 3 weeks, starting next Tuesday at 2 p.m. In fact, you're going to meet twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. on the Pacific. I'm going to record those calls, but I'm just letting you know that's when we're all going to get on here. We're going to go through the exact steps of aligning yourself quickly with the biggest and best cash buyers in each and every market. We're going to do an analysis. I'm going to hand to you. These are the markets I think, the top 25 markets I think that you guys should be focused on right now. And you guys can pick and choose which markets you want to go after, but we're going to execute and walk you through exactly how to start aligning yourself, how to start marketing to those cash buyers immediately and getting your phones ringing. I can tell you, if your phones will be just like mine, ringing off the hook right now with people trying to come in and get access to deals. People with money, I want you to think about this. Just because you have money doesn't make you smart, and it doesn't make you a real estate investor. But it does make it where you want to continue to try to protect and grow that wealth. Cash buyers are coming into the market, ladies and gentlemen. They have a voracious appetite, they are opportunistic, and they want people like us to help them to take advantage of the market. What can you do? You have access to deals. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. We're going to use your existing buying criteria that they are going to tell you and walk you through that process and exactly how to go and create the exact deals they're looking for instantaneously and over the phone. I'm going to give you the buyer scripting we're going to cover on her. Basically, this is something I have perfected over the years, and any of you that have worked with me know that this is kind of my expertise right here, where I'm going to show you exactly how to create this cult-like following where they are highly, highly responsive to you. These cash buyers are going to want to do business with you, and it's going to happen in a matter of days. They're absolutely going to be pushing on you and driving your business and give you exactly the data that you need to push forward. We're going to give you all the seller phone scripts that are going to allow you to get acceptance and accepted and sign contracts right over the phone. I know a lot of you are like, holy shit, Kent, how's that actually done? Well, I'm going to ask you to suspend your disbelief right now, because it absolutely is being done, and it's being done by very successful investors all over the country right now. And in fact, I'm going to introduce you to some of them. We're going to give you the best resources and systems for lead management and appointment setting. A lot of you don't have the CRM set up. You don't have the system set up to manage your leads or to set your appointments or to understand. We're just going to give you those resources and just say, this is exactly how to set it up. Here's the exact way to set your systems up. And in fact, if you don't have access to those systems, we're just going to get them set up for you. We're going to show you how to access local resources to do on-site inspections for photos, videos, and property inspections, and get that done very inexpensively. How to tap into those people, kind of like what I was talking to you about earlier, people that are naturally going to want to do this with you and that are actively doing this right now, which kind of leads me to the next thing. The best hacks and shortcuts to quick closings and getting deals across the line. I think any virtual wholesaler will tell you this is a key ingredient, because part of the disconnect is that, yes, as quickly as you get the buying and selling aspect of it done, actually getting the deals done virtually is a little tricky or trickier. And so there's an entire process there to manage that for you, and we're going to walk you through that. How do you manage virtual teams? We've got people are going to walk you through exactly how you set up the teams, how you set up the communication, how you set up the resources so that you're communicating with your team virtually, whether that is through resources like Slack or Voxer or many other resources out there, and how to do that in a really cohesive way to where you're actually building a team. I mean, I'm sitting here in San Diego. I have 30 employees inside of Real Estate Worldwide, and they're all virtual. I have 2 employees that work in this office for me. Everybody else works out of their home all around the world. So managing virtual teams is something that not only I have perfected, but a lot of our experts have perfected. I talked to you guys about this earlier, so if this is you, you know I'm talking to you. A lot of you, when I was going into what the KPIs are, many of the questions were, what are the numbers? What did you say again? That's a clear indication that you don't have your KPIs in line, which is okay, but it's not acceptable moving forward. That is unacceptable. Because if you don't have your arms around your numbers, then you are not running a business. And if you're not running a business, then you cannot successfully navigate this. So you've got to take off that hustle hat. You got to take off that consumer hat, and you got to put on that entrepreneur and business owner hat and say, I'm going to get my shit together, and I'm going to know my numbers inside and out so I can move confidently into this new market, this new day. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that when you come in here. You will never get on one of these calls without your KPIs lined up. Ask any member of my mastermind what it looks like if you show up without your KPIs, and they will all tell you the exact same thing. You're going to get one free pass, and you don't get it after that, because you can't be a business owner without it. Shame on you if you don't know your numbers, because you can't move confidently without that. The absolute do's and don'ts of virtual wholesaling, how to keep it from imploding. The best tier 1 markets to focus on right now, as I told you earlier, plus a few other surprises. I've got some exciting stuff to share with you. Every week, I'm going to have one of our virtual wholesaling experts on the calls to share their best resources. Some of the experts are going to be, I'm going to have Josh Alter and Steve Enns in. They're with Tallbridge Investments. They're based in Vancouver, Canada. I was just talking about these guys earlier. They've done 85 deals in the last 12 months. They started in this business roughly a little over 3 years ago. They're investing in Austin and Atlanta. Like I said, they hardly ever step in these cities, yet they're doing 85 deals a year consistently and started from scratch. They've never done local wholesaling. They've only done virtual wholesaling. Brian Manley, one of our successful members of the boardroom, is based. He and his partner Rita are based in Phoenix, Arizona. Done 64, 65 deals in the last 12 months. They're in multiple states, multiple markets. Just 3 of those states are North Carolina, South Carolina, and Arkansas. Hardly ever step foot in those states. They've got it down pat. Parker and Casey Stiles, I mean, God only knows where they're from. I mean, they travel the world. They're constantly out there enjoying life. Young couple. They've done 80 deals in the last 12 months that were out of Charleston, South Carolina, and Atlanta, Georgia. They literally run their business from a laptop and from a phone. They're going to walk you through exactly how they're doing this. Alex Casada, he's based in Orlando. He and his partner did 164 deals just in the last 12 months. They are literally doing deals all over the country. He's going to be joining us and sharing all of his best insight as well. Mariano Simrod is based in Phoenix, Arizona. He's a local member of our REWW community, a member of our boardroom, one of our coaches. He's done 41 deals in 12 months, based in Phoenix. Has never even been to San Antonio, Texas, but is one of the biggest wholesalers in the market right there. And I've got more to come. I'm going to surround you with a bunch of badasses that are going to show you exactly how to do this right now. Plus, everybody that comes on board here, I'm going to give you access to my certified wholesaling training course. It's the number one course, the number one wholesaling course in the real estate game right now. It's the only certification program out there. It is has a graduation rate of over 40%. Most graduation rates in online courses run at 8%. So it's 5 times the industry average. And the reason why it's so well received is it's highly, highly actionable. It's 21 modules that walk you step by step, and it's going to be very helpful as we're going through this next 3 weeks. It's going to be very helpful to have access to that as well. It also comes with 90 days access to our SMART program, which is our lead generation and marketing software that kind of goes hand in hand with this training. You're going to get access to a private Slack group with me and all of our members. This is going to be a group setup where we can privately chat on demand every single day. So it's not just clearly we're going to be talking twice a week, but there's going to be constant communication going on as well as you guys are moving into these markets. We want to move quick. We're going to give you access to our members only site. We're going to record each one of these calls, load it up in there. We're going to put all the scripts, checklists, resources all in there as well. And kind of saving the best for last here. As I said, I've been on the phone. I mean, I sit in a very privileged position, ladies and gentlemen, where I get a lot of, and it's kind of my honor. I get a lot of people calling me that are institutional buyers, a lot of people with not only tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars, trying to get more deal flow. And so they have all agreed that they will sit down and work directly with this group. And so they're going to give you their actual buying criteria and buy box for multiple markets. Right now, we've got them in 10 markets, and hopefully by the time we start next Tuesday, we'll have it up to 15 markets. But they're going to tell you the zip codes that they want to buy in, the actual price points they want to buy in those zip codes, the year built, beds, baths, square footage. They're going to literally give you, as a member of this group, the marching orders. Here is exactly what I want to buy and exactly the price I want to pay for it. That will make your life, when you're moving into these new markets, infinitely easier. It is a freaking shopping list. And not only are they going to do that, we're going to walk you in. I'll give you introductions and walk you right into these people so that you can start working with them directly in each one of these markets. That in and of itself, guys, is gold, solid gold, so that you can walk into any of these high performing markets. And some of these markets may be in your own backyard and basically hit the ground running when it comes to virtual wholesaling. The key component is getting the deals under contract over the phone. The second component is having the demand over here where you know you can put these instant deals together over and over and over. So again, here real quick, it's 3 weeks of live coaching with me and access to the virtual wholesaling expert team, along with all their best insight, invaluable trainings along with resources, scripts, checklists, and quick trains, free access to the Academy course, private Slack group, private password protected site, introduction to the cash buyers purchasing in multiple markets, along with their exact buying criteria in each market down to the zip code. Program will be limited to a max of 100 members, as I just told you. First coaching call is next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Will be a private Zoom call, and as I told you, every one of these calls will be recorded and loaded into a membership site so that you can access them at any time. So if you cannot make the recording, you'll get it. But as I said, I know a lot of you are sitting at home and are looking for a way to educate yourself. Well, over the course of the next 3 weeks, you will have everything you need to be a wildly successful virtual wholesaler. Rather than me play kind of games here with you, let's just get to the bottom line here. As I said earlier, you owe it to yourself to be very decisive, and you need to be taking massive action. If you just apply the first 45 minutes of what I talked about here, you can easily start setting yourself up and your business up to thrive. I can tell you that my private clients, they pay me $7,000 a month to work with me privately for a minimum of 6 months, or they spend $20,000 to come spend the day with me. You may ask yourself, why would somebody invest that kind of money? Because they know that we deliver results. I deliver results very quickly and very predictably. I'm not screwing around here. This is something that I know many of you need, and I know many of you need it right now. And so I'm put this together so that as many of you can get in as humanly possible. Your total investment to work with me and the experts for the next 3 months, or I'm sorry, yeah, 3 weeks, should not say months, 3 weeks, is only going to be $1,500. Basically, for $500 a week for 3 weeks, you can move quickly, you can move decisively, and you can get exactly what you need, both online, live coaching calls, live group, move fast, right? You can quite literally set yourself up for explosive growth and get out in front of the crazy market. It is, for many of you, smart money. This is a no-brainer. You're going to be sitting there anyway. Put it to work. Get going. To get signed up, all I need you to do, my guys just put up a site here today for you. It's VWN Coaching, VWM Coaching. That stands for Virtual Wholesaling Mastery Coaching. That's VWMcoaching.com. Go there, get signed up. When we reach 100, let me look here. Yeah, we almost have 400 people here. So when it reaches 100, I will tell you it is set to shut down. And if we don't get 100 on this call, we will get 100 by Sunday when I close it. We are starting on Tuesday. We will close it down on Sunday, March 22nd. So if you need to think about it, you can come back to VWM Coaching. If you want to make sure that you ensure that you're inside of here, then you need to go and do it right now. Just open it up in a new tab, VWMcoaching.com. I can tell you it's extremely relevant and timely. Hopefully everybody understands that. Hopefully you understand the content that we deliver and the value that we bring is our experience and our wisdom and our insight here, right? So I advise you to invest your time wisely and get the information and comprehension that you need in order to succeed. When you sign up, you're going to get an email from us. And the very first thing you're going to get is your login credentials to the online course. The next thing that is going to happen is you are going to receive a welcome call from my team and or me in the next 48 hours, along with an email with all of the information about our call next Tuesday. So if you don't get a confirmation in the next 5 minutes on the actual coaching program, again, this is extremely timely. We are putting this together in real time just for you. So this is not some big product that's going to be out there that is going to be flooding the market with. This is right now. For 100 people, we're going to help them. And so give me a minute to get on the phone with you, make sure we're a good fit, get the information in your hands so that we can hit the ground running next Tuesday. What you will receive in an automated email is your login credentials for the actual course. Again, I want to encourage you to go to bwmcoaching.com and get signed up right now. If you don't sign up, no harm, no foul. Hope you found a tremendous amount of value here tonight. That was my intent. And so if indeed you did, I would love to see it in the comments over there. And obviously, I would love to work with as many of you as we possibly can here. I've got time for some Q&A, so I'm going to go in here and kind of, if you've got questions for me, go ahead and start putting them in there, and I will start trying to get as many of them answered as I possibly can here for you. Oh, wow. God, man, my eyes are so bad. I can't even believe I can't see this. Hold on a second here. I'm in. How do I enroll? Can I make it in 3 payments? David, I don't have an opportunity for you to make it in 3 payments right now. If you will wait in the wings for me, if I don't get everybody in at full pay, then on Sunday, I'll be happy to reach back to you and try to arrange some kind of payment plan for you. Quite frankly, again, like I said, we put this together very, very quickly. I've been on working the phones, getting all this lined up for you guys, and trying to also share my thoughts and invigorate and push you guys forward while I'm doing all that. And so, no, I haven't had time to work out what a payment plan would look like or anything like that. Not saying I won't, but I just am not prepared to really talk about it or do any of that right now. The page is not set up to do that. Again, same questions, payment plan options. Hopefully that answers. Let's go here. Gratefully appreciate you. I appreciate the kind words there, Vladimir. How do I know we're near the bottom? I don't, nor did I ever claim that I know that we're near the bottom. I have no idea if we're near the bottom. What I do know is that what is about to happen is that this ripple effect is about to run through the industry, run through real estate. And as it runs through real estate, there is going to be a segment of buyers, cash buyers, that are going to flood into the market. Whether you or I choose to believe that or not is completely irrelevant. It is a fact. It will absolutely happen. And as they're flooding in, it is in all of our best interest to try to, if you want to position yourself, it is try to get in front of that wave and try to absolutely take care of your family, right? Really try to take care of what you can here and put yourself in a position to win there. Here we go. I'm in. Whatever it takes. Love it, Kelly. I appreciate it, man. Looking forward to working with you. I don't know, Kelly, if you're, I believe, Kelly, I think you're a girl. I'm not sure. Might be Kelly the guy. I apologize for one of those names there, but either way, I can't wait to work with you. Kent, been following since 2008 with Jason Milley. I had your system since then. Love it, man. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate the support. Would Smart be the only tool necessary for virtual wholesaling? Well, yes. I mean, you're going to need some CRM stuff that we'll talk about in the training, but Smart is going to be extremely valuable to you for creating the leads. Absolutely. Not sure where to start with the learning curve. I'm currently going through the trainings, but really to push quickly. I love that. If your goals can't wait, then clearly I just showed you exactly what you need to be doing there, Kelly. I'm excited to work with you. Hey, Kent. You know what? Hold on a second here, guys. Let me walk over and get my damn glasses before I go blind. Man, it sucks getting old. I'm sitting here rubbing my eyes. All right, Kent. All right, hey, Kent, I'm new, but I already purchased Smart. Can I still get this coaching and not lose my current situation with Smart? Yes, Andrew, just if you go to that page, you're going to see a phone number at the top of the page. Just feel free to give them a call, and they will help you out there, okay? These questions. Why are you doing this if you're so wealthy from your other businesses? Well, James, it's a really good question. The bottom line is when you get going and you get to a place that I've gotten to, as is absolutely the case with many, many, many other successful mentors out there, including people like Ed Mylett, Lewis Howes, Tony Robbins, and others. They have very, very successful businesses, but they also feel a strong need to give back. This business has been very good to me. I provided tools and trainings to this industry that have helped to make people very, very successful, and I have found my passion. I hope you find yours as well. Tony, you can feel free to give our man, guys are killing me here with all so many questions. Let's try to keep ahead of it here. Kelly, I would love to have you call, please. Okay, I'm a man. All right, sorry about that. I personally have talked to Alex here and shared my desires. All right, well, Kelly, I will definitely try to get in touch with you, okay? It just depends on how fast we can move through all these pieces. Brian, will it be, that remains to be trained, remains to be seen there, Brian. I'm the kind of guy, your question is, after the initial 3 trainings, will there be additional training opportunities? I can tell you this, I'm very passionate about my community. I'm very passionate about my students. I have a tendency to give a ton more value. So what I don't want to put anything in writing. I don't want to promise anything, but I can tell you I'm never far away from my students. What I end up doing is absolutely helping them over and over and over again. And so it would not be unlike me at all that once this community starts working together, that we turn around and absolutely continue to stay in touch and continue to have that Slack channel open and keep moving forward together here. Rick, thanks, gotta run. All right, love it, brother. Appreciate you, thank you. Greg, minimum marketing suggested cost after the program. For cash buyer marketing, it's going to be a minimum of $500 a month that you're going to spend on cash buyer marketing for sure. I explained earlier that a deal is going to cost you roughly $3,000 in marketing, Greg. So, I think it's very reasonable for you to assume that you're going to have to spend $3,500 minimum to generate both sides of the deal. It won't all, the numbers, critical mass will start taking over once you've got a stable of cash buyers in place, then you won't have to market as aggressively for them. But it's very reasonable to assume that a deal is going to cost you $3,000 in marketing. And so I think you need to be prepared to have $3,500 to invest there, whether that's on credit card or whether that is working with a partner or other financial sources, whatever it is. This is a business, right? This is not a get rich quick thing at all. This is basically this is you wholesaling and actually setting up a business and actually setting up. So you need to be prepared to make some investments, and most of those investments in the first year are going to be on marketing. St. Clair, is there anything in pricing? You've already smart and already have the academy. What's your, guys, smart, and let's just be very candid here. Smart and the academy are really kind of bonuses here. You're literally paying me and our experts for our time here. I can sincerely appreciate your patronage, right, and continue to be one of our customers. So what I will tell you, St. Clair, is if you pick up the phone and you call my office, we will make some concessions for you, yes. Is it going to be ridiculous? Absolutely not, right? Because we are definitely going to be investing a great deal of time here with this particular group. And so I want to make sure that we bring a ton of value and everybody's, that everybody gets what they came here for. Tony, I'm a home stager. Do you have any tips for me? I have a ton of connections with investors, realtors, and flippers that start in 06. Well, one, I would definitely start telling you to start using smart, right? Cash buyers are typically investors. So I'd start marketing for cash buyers, Tony, immediately, right? And it's going to play dual benefit for you. One, if somebody's paying cash for a house, there's going to be a segment of those that are going to be flippers. And those flippers, you're going to want to, you can probably help them with their staging business. But do not waste the resource that you have. If you have smart, keep it coming and keep the deal flow going. Here you go, Johnny. What do you think about, so let me see here. James, we want location. James, I'm not exactly sure what your problem is, your brother. You can go look up REI Nation right now and go look up every single, we're not hard to find here. You can go look up every single property we've ever done. Go look up Kent Clothier, go look up Chris Clothier, go look up Memphis Invest. We are not hard to find, my friend. Go look us up on Bigger Pockets. If you need any kind of understanding of exactly who we are and how many deals we do, we're happy to go do your own research there. Minimum marketing suggested cost, marketing costs during or after the program, hopefully I just covered that, Greg, and I got your question answered. Is there any way the pricing did that? Johnny said, what do you think about TV advertising? Johnny, the problem with TV advertising is that it is so broad. You have no really local geographic control over exactly who sees your ad and what properties you're attracting. You can do some of that when you do cable advertising, right? When you do, but the viewership on cable is not as good as what's called broadcast television. So if you do broadcast television, which is local TV, which is going to be NBC, CBS, Fox, ABC, you're going to want to do daytime television. And when you do daytime television, then again, because that's where all the viewership happens, that's where people are watching the soap operas and watching Judge Judy and Maury Povich and all that kind of garbage TV. When that's happening, unfortunately, you lose complete control over where your leads come from. Now, with that said, it is great for brand building. It is an amazing resource for really getting your name out there. So if you have a desire to build your brand in real estate, that is a great way to do that, including billboards. Ruth Ann, what amount of money is needed for other expenses, programs, marketing, et cetera? How much should we have at disposal? Hopefully I answered that for you, Ruth Ann. I mean, the bottom line is, like I said, you're going to need a minimum of probably $3,500 to create a deal, but that $3,500 should bring back to you, like I said, on a 3-to-1, you should get $10,000 to $12,000 back on a wholesale fee. So that is hopefully answers your question. And I know when you're starting out, it makes you a little nervous, but when this gets going, you will quickly understand that the math all will play out exactly like I'm telling you. How do you protect yourself, Michael? We cover that inside of the training. You do what's called clouding the title. You basically record your contract with the title company, and when you cloud the title, if the seller tried to sell that property without they have to deal with you first. There's no way they can get around you. Once you cloud the title on a property with the contract, they cannot get around you. Tony, like I said, just reach out to us there. Thank you for doing this, Ken, for sharing in advance. You got it, brother Todd. I appreciate the sentiment. Sydney, what's a good filter for pulling in a list of cash buyers? Go pull active cash buyers, Sydney. Hopefully, I mean, there's a list right there, right? If you go into the campaigns, you'll see it. Verena, what is SMART in one sentence? SMART is your best lead generation and marketing tool for any real estate investment company. Sam, happy 50th. Thank you very much, brother. I just signed up for Damn Jumpstart. Should have continued going through the wholesale master program. Absolutely, dude. This is in addition to. This is going to help you. This is going to complement you, Terry, on exactly what you're doing inside of your other program, right? This is an and, not an or. After 90 days, how much for SMART? You'll have an opportunity to either do it $99, $149, or $299, Pete, a month. There is a prepayment if you wanted to pay it all. If you want to get lifetime access, you can make one payment of $990. You can get lifetime access, but most people do the monthly. Andrew, hey Kent, I'm new but already purchased SMART. Can I get this coaching and not lose? Yes, I've answered that one. Shakita, thank you for your selfishness. I love the wholesale and SMART access would find the one-on-one helpful. Well, I hope you signed up, Shakita. I look forward to working with you. Do you have automated systems that I can have on my computer? Yes, Renee, that's exactly what SMART is, and it's exactly what the online course will be. This was great. I'm a client success coach for 1,000 calls a day, and this information will be very valuable. Great, I love that. Thank you, Amber. I appreciate the feedback. It makes me feel really good. Welcome. What are you communicating to clients that are in the process of closing turnkey with you? Terrence, keep closing. I just told you that's an amazing asset to get into. You're going into a cash flowing asset. It's exactly where I just told you from your self-directed or your funds. That's where you want to move your money, right? So that's exactly what you want to do. Long-term cash flowing assets are going to be in where they're hard assets backed by real estate. That's where you want to be. How much automation is included in the course? Hopefully, Verena, I just answered that for you. When will we get a replay of this webinar? As soon as it renders, as soon as we close this down and the computer will start rendering, as soon as I get it, I'll turn around and send it out to you guys. Pete, look forward to working with you, man. I apologize. It sucks you got laid off, but you're now in the right place, brother. You're going to be in a place where you can actually do some stuff. Here we go. Faye, need a private money lender. Well, Faye, there are literally tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands of them inside of SMART. I understand we should be doing a minimum of 3 touch campaigns, preferably 6, and that we should focus on getting our cash buyers in line first. How many mailers is a suitable number when you're starting out? You want to mail 500 buyers, cash buyers, a minimum of 3 times, but ideally 6 times. Direct mail is all about penetration, right? Continue to stay in front of it. Nick, hopefully I answered all these questions here. Thank you, Kent, for sharing. I'll be getting my finances in order tonight. Love it. Thank you. Look forward to working with you, Nikisha. John, again, if you reach out to my office, when you just go to that page, vwmcoaching.com, you're going to see a phone number at the top. If you give them a call, they'll work with you. Again, the wholesaling course certification and the SMART program are really bonuses here. They're not really what we're doing. We're really selling this $1,500 is really about the access, right? Really about the private coaching that you're getting with us. But I understand the nature of your question, and I am happy to give you a little bit of a discount. Angel, great here. Getting deals done. When you recommend Facebook, Instagram for someone just starting out, I would absolutely not recommend Facebook or Instagram at all when it comes to just starting out. Direct response marketing when it comes to generating leads is what this is all about. Kent, I love you, man, but I'm still working on my first wholesale deal. What is the difference in virtual being integrator of a chance getting a deal? Well, I mean, I don't know, Angel, I don't know what market you're in, brother, but wherever you are, you need to go run a cash buyer search in SMART right now. And you need to, if you see hundreds and hundreds of cash buyers buying in your market, then you're in a great market. Virtual would just be an and, not an or. There would be no reason for you to go anywhere else. If you're in a market where you don't have a ton of activity right now, then you need to consider, getting educated on virtual wholesaling so that you have other options available to you. It's that simple. Life is about options, man. Verena, how can you manage 500 buyers? You can't manage 500 buyers. You're going to mail to 500 buyers. And when you mail to 500 buyers, you're going to get a 2% response rate. So for every 500 you mail, you're going to get 10 to 15 phone calls that are going to call you. So that's why a direct mail is so effective, because the only people that are going to call you are the people that need you, which are marketing to people who have clearly demonstrated that they are already paying cash. Can you use your self-directed IRA for marketing? Johnson, I can tell you, it's very, very difficult to bring your own self-directed money into your own business. I will be happy inside of this coaching program to bring on my self-directed expert, my business partner, a guy by the name of Greg Herleen, and he has some ways of helping you, and some other experts have ways of helping you to navigate that safely. But there are some pretty, reasonable restrictions on how to use your self-directed inside of your own business. Kent, what do you think about direct mail or REI automating? Direct mail is inside of SMART. I think it is exactly what you need to do. And if you have SMART and you use SMART, you do not need REI Automator. We are the ones that, again, created this entire industry. REI Automator is a great tool, but is it a tool that has been released and invented inside of the last 2 years? That has kind of basically taken some of the concepts we put out there, and they have created their own version of it. If you have SMART, you do not need other tools. Okay, here, Kent, your emails to join the Deal a Month Club started. You could do deals. Yes, you can do deals without marketing. Basically, you can go out and look up Craigslist. I shared this before. I've got a YouTube video on it. I'll be happy to send it to you. But if you had to do down and dirty without spending the money or any kind of real money in marketing, what you would do is go find wholesale deals on Craigslist, people that are selling with terms cash offer, must sell for cash, cash only. Make sure those deals are still available. Go put up bandit signs at every major intersection around where those deals are that say must sell, cash only, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, call me, accepting all offers. Immediately what's going to happen is your phone is going to ring from cash buyers that are in that particular area looking for properties, and you're going to be able to put 2 and 2 together. You will have deals that you've already checked on Craigslist and already talked to the seller on one side. Now you have cash buyers calling you. That's how you do a deal without not out doing any marketing. This person is thinking they can't wait to get into the small group. Let's crush this. Man, Bryson, love that you're in here, brother. Live in SoCal. Can this be done? Absolutely, remotely. Are you using skip tracing? We use skip tracing sometimes when it comes to seller marketing, Verena, and skip tracing, basically appending phone numbers, is available directly inside of SMART. You can skip trace all of their phone numbers right inside of the program SMART that you get when you sign up for this as well. Again, it's kind of my gift to you for 90 days. If I'm just starting training here, Alicia, hopefully where you should start is exactly where we just walked you through. If I'm just starting training here, where do you suggest I focus my learning on? Wholesaling is going to be exactly what you need to be doing. This 3-week program that's going to move very, very quickly is going to be the fastest way to get you the results you're looking for. Hopefully that helps you. David, send that to me. Solar system. Okay. Well, what you offered for $199 a month. You did not see any kind of coaching, and you certainly did not see our certification program offered for $199 a month. So smart, you can still, I mean, that promotion's over, but you could hypothetically get it for $199 a month. You certainly could not get coaching with me privately with only 99 other people for the next 3 weeks, twice a week, along with direct access to me on demand, as well as my 5 experts that I'm bringing on board here for you. And you certainly couldn't get the certification program. So that's probably the single biggest difference for you. Last but not least here, and I'm going to wrap it up. What is the support after 3 weeks? Well, you will always have access to our customer support. And you always have access, if you'd like to get access to phone coaching, you can certainly do that. As I was saying earlier, Marina, that if I have a tendency to over deliver, so that Slack group, I would anticipate that we would keep it going and you would still have on demand with me and the experts. That's just kind of the way we naturally do things. Although I'm not going to sit there and promise that, I can just tell you that naturally, historically, after doing this for 15 years and helping tens of thousands of people, that's kind of the way this normally plays out. I would need to do one deal to recover the marketing money. You're exactly right, Marina. That's why you're going to lay out $3,500 or so in marketing, and you're going to get $10,000 to $12,000 back in a normal scenario. It will take you time to ramp up to that potentially. So I want to make sure I clearly set your expectations. But that is absolutely the way the real world works with professional wholesalers, and that's what all of our experts are going to share with you as well. What business entity needs to be started first? None. GT, you don't need to have any business entity. You can operate this as a sole proprietorship coming out of the gate. It is not a prerequisite at all of getting this going. All right, guys, it is 7:45. I'm going to get home to my family. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. It's 10:45 on the East Coast. Thanks for hanging in there with me. For those of you that have not gotten signed up, hopefully you will do that, and we'll do that shortly. Hopefully you found this very valuable. If you're still on the line, I would encourage you to, I'd love to, for my team and everybody that works hard on this and getting this put together for you, to let them know that you appreciate it. So if you don't mind going into the comments there and letting them know whether you got value out of this or not, whether you find this basically hour and 45 minutes we spent together helpful or not, I would really appreciate that, because we do review every single one of these comments. That my entire team will read all this. And so if you found it valuable, go in there, let us know. If not, I appreciate you spending the time with me regardless. With that, I'm out of here. I'll be sending out a replay to all of you, and take care. Good night, and we'll see you soon.